Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. Today we continue in our series of stories of kings. When we talk about stories of kings, we're not talking about specific kings by names, but we're talking about beautiful stories that have certain wisdom that's going to help us in our lives. Today's story is one that's very famous in Arabic and also Persian history. It has been translated into so many languages, including Spanish and English, and it's called Alf Layla Layla, 1001 Nights. Now, it has a very deep meaning and it's a very long story. As you can imagine, 1001 Nights, we're really talking about 3 years plus, maybe or so. But we want to get to the essence of the story, philosophically speaking. It speaks about a king that was trying to dominate the world. Very powerful king, ruthless king, powerful king. I mean, he had all the armies in the world. And this king will travel from city to city. What he does is he will invade that city with his armies. And when he takes and occupies that city, again, people are going to try and negotiate, and some people might promise him something, and some people might betray him. And so he wants to send a very strong message from day one that I'm your leader and I'm your king, and I am not, don't even try and fool me. So what he does is when he comes over and occupies and takes over, usually people will try and make peace and bring him food and gifts and whatever, and maybe to build a future relationship. And so back then they would offer one of their girls to marry him. As, you want to take so and so as a bride? She's so beautiful. She's from one of the most honorable people in our city or village or whatever. And so that's what he would do in his first night is he would marry one of their girls. But then, to everyone's surprise, first thing in the morning, what does he do? He takes the girl out in public and then order that it's be slaughtered and that they kill her in public in front of everyone. Ruthless, no mercy whatsoever. He goes to the next city, fights, invades it, takes over. People try to make peace with him and see how they can work things out. And maybe they could, overrun him or maybe work something. But what does he do as an offering is accept one of their girls as a bride, usually from an honorable family. They're happy. They're like, yes, we got him. Maybe we can work out peace. But what happens the first morning? Pulls her out and tells someone to slaughter her in public so people can see it and know that this man is ruthless. There is no negotiating with him. Goes to the next city, and so city after city, and his kingdom just started to expand because he was invading territory after territory and showing his ruthlessness by marrying one of their girls and just slaughtering her in the morning. So one of the days as he's invading city to city, he goes to a city and same thing, invades it. They find one of the honorable families. They said they have a wonderful daughter, very sweet, very beautiful, very, very educated, and we would like for her to be your bride. So he says, okay, but they don't know what's going to happen. However, one of the servants in the palace has heard about that king and how ruthless that king is. And he loved that princess. I mean, he was an older person that served her from birth, and now she's all grown up and she's going to marry this person. And more than likely, this person is going to kill her in the morning. So he ran to her and said, my princess, I need you to know this. I need you to escape. I need you to run away. I need you because this man, if he marries you tonight, in the morning, he does this and he's going to slaughter you and kill you. But the girl was an amazing genius. She had a trick up her sleeve. What was the trick? Well, the king comes in, and at the first night, and he's walking into the room, and she welcomes him and greets him, and he wants to lay next to her and so on. And she says, by the way, I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm shaken. And he says, what's wrong? Why are you shaking? What's going on? He said, my sister just told me a very strange story. And he said, what is the story? She said, well, she was telling me that one of our friends, I mean, that she was married and their husband, I mean, they were so much in love together and they had children, and she and her husband were just so happily, and then the husband traveled and he went there, and during the trip, I mean, he was gone for so long, and I mean, she was telling this very exciting, powerful story, and I mean, she's talking for like half an hour, maybe an hour, and it's late at night, and she says, my king, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. can I please finish the story in the morning? And he says, no, 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 keep telling me, keep telling me. I mean, this is very exciting. And she's like, I would love to, but I started to forget it. I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. So please, I'll finish it to you tomorrow morning. And the king says, okay, okay. So the king wakes up in the morning, and of course, he usually kills the princess that he marries. But the story was so exciting that he said, okay, I'll let her finish tonight, and I'm gonna kill her tomorrow. Well, guess what? He comes the next night, and the next night she continues to says, "What happened?" And she starts to continue the story. She said, "Well, the man traveled, and on the way there, he stopped by a tree where he left his food, and apparently there was like a demon or something that lived in that tree that captured what he had, and it just whatever. And the man misses his family, and he wants to go back, but he had to trade his life with." My king, I'm so tired. I mean, she's talking for almost an hour. She says, my king, I'm so tired. Can I please continue it in the morning? I'm starting to forget the details. And he says, no, 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 you have to tell me right now. She says, but I'm so tired. I can't focus. I can't tell you the story. He says, okay, okay, you finish it tomorrow. And then comes the third night. And he says, I'm going to kill her in the morning, but let her just finish the story. It's just so intriguing. It's so exciting. And then the third night, she continues with the story and doesn't finish it. And then the fourth night, and then the fifth night, and then the 10th night, and then the 100th night, and then the 300th night, and then the 800th night. And then for 1001 nights, she's telling the story over and over and over, just completing the story with what happened here and what happened, and the man went there and the children, and he met this and this happened. After 1001 nights, he comes to her at night and says, huh, can you finish the story? She said, get the hell out of here. Get away from me. He said, what do you mean? I want to hear the rest of the story. She said, when you married me, I knew and I heard that the first thing you do in the morning is kill your bride. And I didn't want to die. So I came up with a story. But now, 1001 nights later, we've been married. We have so much love between us. We have 3 kids. If you want to kill me, go ahead and kill me. I know you can't kill me after this. And the king just started to laugh, knowing that, now he really loves her, that he's attached to her. So, what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is we have to come up with creative ways to grow our love. You'd be surprised how many times a couple has been married and they love each other so much, but after 5 or 6 or 8 or 9 years, they say we're just in it for our children. Well, I hope that this story inspires me and inspires you and inspires all of us. No, reinvent yourself. Come with a new story every single day. My brother, instead of wearing that ugly shirt and ugly pants that you wear every day, dress up just like you did when you got married. Dress up just beautiful and nice as you did, and clean your hair, and look good and look sharp just like you did, and put some fragrance and do something special for your wife. Sister, don't be wearing the same clothes that you wear every single night in the kitchen and go to bed and you smell like, oh my God, no. Refresh yourself, reinvent yourself. It drives me crazy when parents talk about their kids and say, I told him, I told her a million times. Well, if you tell them to do something one time and they don't do it, or 2 times and they don't do it, shame on your kids. But if you tell them 5 or 10 or 15 times the same way, shame on you for having no creativity. This story tells us to always come with creative ways to send a message to our kids. You don't tell them the same thing. I tell you, go and do this. Okay, go and do this. Okay, go and do this. But reinvent yourself. Come with creative ways and beautiful ways. If you want your love to grow, you have to reinvent yourself. Come with a new story every day. Come with a beautiful thing for your husband. Come with a different story to your wife. Come with a different story with your parents that recreates and reinvents that love. Treat your children with something new every day so that that love increases. Come with something that's creative. And that's the moral of the story of 1001 Nights.